Hello, everyone, and welcome back from our short break. We are here with the Gamebreakers crew and continuing to play the Tomb of Annihilation. Should go back and check the last vid and see what we're up to. And as we continue, we find ourselves in very different places. And as we are now back to Wayne, I'm going to go ahead and call your attention here to boop, 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 doop.
Oh,
You find yourself in front of a familiar skull
ah,
or a devil face.
yeah, this is back on level one.
Oh, wow.
Indeed, it is.
Well, I will stay very still, listen for a moment.
There are a couple things that are obviously apparent to you. The sounds of the Omu and the jungle come to you through the open doors to your south.
Anything else as I give it the
Now, I did mention that uh, there are some obvious pieces here, right?
Mhm.
But I didn't really finish giving the other obvious piece.
Mhm.
Is while behind you or to your left, I guess, if you're facing to the west, you notice that there is the open entrance to the tomb. It's been reopened, right? It had sealed itself before,
Yeah,
and the keys that were used to unlock it disappeared, right?
yeah,
And the other very obvious thing is you're standing next to the audio.
that seemed pretty obvious too. Yeah, it
Yeah,
came with me.
it it did. We're gonna roll some initiative, see how well that plays out. And I did feed that warning that was there before.
Which
I believe I popped it up though to the quest,
hmm,
and it talked about
Yeah,
the previous floor. Yeah.
from the fourth panel, the fourth Asarak warning, fire, diner, drown. That one.
Mhm. And while you go ahead and put that initiative up there, we
like
will.
uh, a moment. I'm gonna have to switch. Can you?
Oh yes. Let me do that. Which one can you move?
This one?
Okay. Go ahead. Now it should. Nice.
Yeah, 189 initiative. Beat that asshole.
Nice.
Hopefully, Wayne strikes first and last.
Okay. There's a fight here. And as that happens, let me switch focus here dramatically. As we find our heroes in the shaft, the vortex is above and below. The shaft is about 400 feet.
Hmm.
There's a chain that comes from above past a gear. And there are these chains that go like it's one chain in a loop, like a big V, going into the ceiling.
And suddenly,
I'm gonna
Roken switches back to her normal size for no apparent reason.
bloop. And as we have
It's the only time I've ever felt big is after being that small.
all right. So while you return to your normal shape unexpectedly, Chippy gains the knowledge of Wayne being close, within a couple stories upward. You would assume still within the tomb. As Roken returns to normal size there. Yeah. We also have, just a moment as I skip forward here, flipping pages. You see the chain before you, we'll call it 50 feet per round. The floating gear 100 feet below the eastern balcony when you're on. And then the chain goes into that upper vortex. You have the other piece of information as you look down and look up is that there is a rip that opens in the vortex above. And high above, through that opening, 9 cube shaped winged cube thing creatures fly out, armed with what you recognize as short bows. And as those 9 quickly descend, there is also a large crystal dodecahedron, which seems to have a starfish creature inside of it.
So there's a starfish inside a dodecahedron inside a rip in the plane, and the things are coming out of it.
The cloud vortex
Okay.
above.
Does that mean that they can see us despite our invisibility and stealth?
Well, I'm the one who stepped out onto the balcony.
Indeed.
But you
Right.
had said that you were being stealthy.
Yeah, I
earlier.
did roll. A default 19, but they're here now.
They are here now. And they descend. And as they descend, we have a couple of moment. Do. Thank you.
Alex whispers, "Should we run away now?"
Nah. That's what they'd expect.
That's
No, we
not-
probably should.
And I'm gonna go ahead and prompt an initiative from the Roken and Pear, and then Chippy and Pear.
Broken.
So that would be Alex because Chippy's not there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chippy's down below, but yeah, it's still we're using right now with the pairs. We're using a primary.
Okay, I rolled Alex's initiative. The bonus is slightly different. I can use Chippy's if you'd rather.
Yeah, we'll use Chippy's.
13.
Good luck or anything. That's
I don't think I got anything.
All right.
That's the
Actually, their initiative bonus is identical. I guess we could just use the initial roll rather than re-rolling.
Good enough. Or use the same roll and apply a different modifier. Typically, if we roll wrong, we want to roll correctly. But here we go. So, with this, one of the first things that comes apparent is wait. Pardon. Okay. Did I do that right? Almost. Oh, there's a missing one. I don't understand what happened there. So, in a moment of dramatic drama here, these creatures descend, and this large dodecahedron with starfish inside descends onto this balcony and seems perched right above it. And it takes a look around. And let's see, where is this? The creature drops and observes and takes no other action. Chippy and or Alex, what are you doing?
Alex is going to fly down to right next, like within arm's reach of Roken, and during that move, so that's what, maybe 10 feet, and then during that move, pull out the Galder's Instant Fortress, and ready an action to plant it between to plant it immediately in front of Roken, so that Alex and Roken and the fox are all, so that the fortress would push them away from these other beings, which is probably a really bad idea in this confined space, but she doesn't know what else to do.
Here you go. It's readied.
So if there's any sort of attack or any situation where she feels threatened, she's gonna grab Alex by the back of the shirt and activate the fortress right in front of them in the doorway, which will probably hurt, and fly backwards as fast as she can to try and get away from it.
So you have an action prepped and a trigger set. Chippy.
Well, Chippy's still concentrating on having located Wayne and doesn't really know what else to do. So I guess he's just kind of guarding the space.
Okay.
He can't really see what's happening down the hallway. He doesn't know what's happening with Alex and Roken, except for a little bit of sound that he might hear. So I think he's kind of just unaware.
Looking towards the next round here, we will move to Wayne. This audio.
Excellent.
A grotesque, bulbous meh.
I'll just it clearly sees me. We're not. I look it in the eyes like there's a light source over there. I'm not getting dark vision. Obscurity isn't helping me. I just look at it in however many eyes it has. I point to the door and look. There you go, buddy. Freedom. And then I'm going to take the disengage action. I'm going to fly 50 feet straight out to where I'm above the shaft that goes all the way down to the level that the team is on, and then I'm going to stop flying and thank Papa Zoggle on the way down because I take no fall damage. Just like, whew, look, later, big fella.
Right. Just 35 feet out that way.
No, 50. I'm flying. I still have my broom, so I head directly over the shaft and then stop flying.
And that is a fall, which would put you just a moment here.
Papa Zottle says I never take fall damage.
It does. It does say that, doesn't it?
It does, right at the bottom there, very clearly.
Good stuff.
You never take damage from falling.
Yeah. Perfect, because I know that it came up a bunch of times, and then oh look at that, now you're safe from it. Now it won't be a thing anymore.
Yep. Doesn't matter what the rules are.
All right. So you fall,
So
and you're out of that.
yeah, I
And
should now be.
and as you leap off, there's like this telepathic, simple kind of like it's the audio kind of giving you a telepathic version of a gesture of like eat, and disinterest in you.
Oh, shit, buddy, you should have said something sooner. I'd have given you a good berry, I think. Falling at terminal velocity.
And that does do hold on here. Wayne finds himself in a familiar space here. You're in one of the cogs.
I
The
will
whole
call out
engage in a move, yeah.
as free action. Yo, I'm back. Hey Tim, if it's safe, switch the cogs so I can get back with the team.
Got it. And with the message sent, we'll move our focus to these other creatures that flitter about and move into this like semi-organized position here. You see some up and some above and some below.
Just for the record, at the end of my turn. 3-point superhero land.
Of course. Of course. And you see that these creatures like look around, and it seems to be they're searching for something. You know, they all stop by and take a look at the balcony and go. Some flip back up, some dive below. And with that, we now come to Roken. You see all these things flitting about, and they don't seem to respond to you.
Okay. I'm going to roll stealth again.
What's the intent here?
So
Get
my
in,
intent
get out.
is to uh, slowly back out. Is it pretty loud in here? Like with the stuff going on?
It is.
Then I will also very quietly uh, cast invisibility on myself.
Seems like stealth is a good time to make that roll. As you
I believe that's a +9. Double check here.
attempt to get away with a spell.
28.
Pretty solid
That's a
roll.
damn good. Damn good.
There
Sounds
is
good.
your,
I
version
mean,
of
what? I didn't hear anything.
but you make it quietly. And with that, you come to your spell is cast, and you can make your move.
I will quietly back out.
Okay.
Oh, I can use the arrows to move my character.
Counting the
But
steps there.
I can only,
Nice.
I can only go like what, 25 feet, and probably stealth. That's not as I'm not gonna run. So, and I already cast an action, so I had an action. So yeah, that's what I got, and I think my fox. Yeah, it doesn't. It's just gonna hang out with me up my sleeve here.
All right. So, thus is your turn. We will go ahead and remove the audio because it's no longer interested in hanging out there.
Oh,
Now, we had a lot going on at one time here, but there was a prompt which might have been lost, and that's okay. But upon those that saw the shaft here and what was going on inside, you can get an Arcana roll. Give me that intelligence Arcana.
did I see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's also going to be, Alex and or Fox
Oh yeah.
for Arcana.
That's not one of my good rolls. Got a 17 though. Fox gets a -4.
So
But I rolled a 20.
that's great.
So me and the fox are about on the same level today regarding this.
So you got a couple of ideas here. The first that is a planar vortice.
Hmm.
Those are incredibly destructive. It's a type of connection between one plane and another.
Yeah.
You would not. This is not something you typically would survive attempting to use as a passageway. That something like that rip. This was the locus of an event that happened. They are not traversing it like a gate. You would expect to not survive. And that chain, it is distinctive. And it gives you a whole bunch of more context too, because that's a mechanist chain. You are familiar that those are crafted by modrons, and they basically are the driving force of machinery of the plane of mechanists, which this certainly is not. But you assume that's what the planar vortice is adjacent with, the plane of mechanists. And the mechanist fame is clearly attached to a gear here before it loops back up and returns to mechanist.
Hmm.
That's the plane of order. So it's also enough to give you that those are quadrones, also creatures of mechanists,
Hmm.
as is the starfish creature. You're unfamiliar with the dodecahedron, but a 15 is enough to tell you that it's a pentadrone, and those things don't fly like it does, or rather, it's inside of some kind of vehicle, likely.
Hmm.
So, interesting information there. And as we get that, there seems to be no change from the creature that's perched on the balcony. You do see that it is looking around. Chippy, Alex. First off, Wayne's location has changed. It is really close. Also, you heard him yelling.
So first, Alex, she is going to stealthily move her full 30 to here. As a bonus, she's going to assist Roken with whatever Roken decides to do next, and just remain invisible and stealthy. She does
Okay.
still have the Galder's Tower icon thing in her hand, but she's not holding that action anymore.
Okay, right. Got it. Yeah, because it's now your turn, so you've lost the prompt, but no trigger, no action.
I think that this turn she's gonna hold the action of casting confusion on the entryway. If they start coming through, she'll cast a sphere of confusion to where the border is just past Roken, so that hopefully it'll get all of them in the, this being the edge of the effect.
Okay.
If they start coming through. And with that held action, I guess that's the end of her turn. So yeah, Chippy, he did hear Wayne. Wayne sounds like he's alive, so that makes Chippy think he probably doesn't need his help right now. Did the cogs start turning yet?
Yes, at the top of this round was I started the description a couple times, but I didn't want to cut you off there. The beginning with the pentadrone, which no change in action here, but at the top of the round there was the call out from Tim, and the gears start turning. And the center cog rooms, begin their rotation.
So the adamantine gate and that hallway is no longer accessible from the cog that Chippy is in.
Indeed.
Maybe Chippy will just fly out through the door as it turns and just hover above the water on his broom and wait to see where everything stops.
Okay.
So I'll move the token.
And the cogs had one rotation at the bottom of the last round. We have the movement stops here at the top round, so it's the center one is now connected to here and here. And as that gear turns, this other gear turns. So it's one turn to the counterclockwise. So the door is now here and here. So we'll put Chippy right outside the new door here. And the other one's out over here. And we have Wayne. This, we have it in one section here, so you're connected here and here. And it's still turning. It just seems to be, where we're lined up here.
Right. I'm patient.
Anything from Lunatic?
No.
Moving down, we find ourselves essentially out of combat as the critters down here are not aware, and Wayne is no longer engaged with the audio. Thus, over the next additional 6 seconds, the cogs turn and are now the center one is now 2 steps. It's connected to here and here,
Pop.
which puts this room connected to, here and here.
And then call to Tim as I'm crossing over. All right, back to the other way where it was.
And I will then, call out attention, back to Broken and Alex here. As things are moving there, Chippy has a chance to dip back inside before he's locked out. And
Yep.
Those above. Now, Broken, you see that room hasn't, the staff hasn't responded. There's something on the other side of it, but you kind of start up a response entering it. They haven't found you. There's that archway that we called out here, right? Seems to have that loot piece that we spotted, that valuable large ivory ring. And there's the stairs that go below into the room with some green smoke wafting across the floor. And the grinding of the rooms and the cogs turning as the rooms realign themselves below.
Hey, what do you think we go back and give a little report before our next move? Or if we go downstairs and we kill this Astrak dude all by ourselves, maybe we get all the treasure? Nah. What fun would that be?
So Lucano returns to the portcullis and kicks the bars. Yeah, and these are still here. Reaches up with spear and taps on the things above, like they're a giant button. No avail.
So, all right, I'm gonna speak quietly. Is everybody together? Oh no, there's still Broken still.
Yeah, I'll head up now since we're out of combat. I'm still invisible because this lasts an hour, and I'm not going to waste this fucking spell slot that I used. But so you see a fox come out of an invisible sleeve. Oh, but I can't go this far. Right there. The fox.
Yeah.
can
So
go back.
Alex will use polymorph to transform Roken into a second fox. But first, as she's doing it, she says, "What color you want to be?" And then once Roken is through the gate, then whenever she seems to want to, she'll transform her back.
Thanks.
So, quick notes. Teleportation sends you to a room full of bodies that used to have a sewer monster in it, disposal monster in it. There's a a big devil face. If you use the lever in the right nostril, if somehow you end up here, it takes you back to the devil face right at the door. There's a lever in the left nostril. Don't know where that takes you. I wouldn't expect if I had to. I didn't like having to experiment the first time. If you remember that devil face at the first floor was within eye shot of the doors to the outside, and they are open.
Quick review. Had to use the special pieces to get them to open,
Mm-hmm.
and then once it was used, they disappeared,
Yeah,
and then it
And it
closed
closed.
behind you, and then it
Mhm.
closed behind you.
and remind me what triggered the close.
I'm not sure we knew.
Right, it was just at some point down the way we heard it close while we were born. Right?
Okay. In other news, Roken, you want to give the report, or should I?
Oh yeah, there's a down the hall. There's a staircase that goes off one way down to a room we didn't see, but there's a light down there, probably something mechanical, maybe some lightning, and then at the end of the corridor there's a um, purple lightning and mechanical stuff going on with a
Mechanist chain.
yeah, with a mechanist chain that is like part of a cloud rift in the plane that had these creatures that could travel through it, even though that shouldn't be possible. Um, yeah, it was bad. Thankfully, they didn't see me. But as soon as I stepped in
Lucanu's
there, they came out.
Lucanu speaks up. Where are your clothes?
Oh yeah, everything that wasn't magical disintegrated as soon as we walked down that hallway. I was hoping it would come back once we came out, but that was probably never going to happen. Anybody got any spares? Actually, no. I think I have some in my bag of holding.
Yep.
Alex.
And I
Alex
have extra
says
ghost tools for you.
Alex says with a very serious face to Chippy, "It dissolved my violin."
So anything you want to keep, definitely put in your bag of holding if it's not magical. If you go down there.
Oh yeah, did you check? Is the stuff in your bag of holding still safe?
Pretty sure.
We should check.
It's still
Is the
there.
not
Right? It's in its own little pocket dimension, basically.
all right? So Alex is gonna take a deep breath and set her bag of holding on the ground and just fly into it. And after about maybe a minute, she'll fly back out with a new set of clothes on. Actually, that's not true because she's got mail over it. So it would take her quite a bit longer. She'll come out with the clothing, but she won't put it on yet.
And you find yourselves in this cog of Armoires, looking at this portcullis, knowing some information of what you have ahead, and also some new information of what's behind. And we'll take that
Belinda's definitely here.
note to pause, and we'll come back and answer those questions next week. So hopefully you enjoyed what you saw here. If you liked what you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit like for us. Subscribe to see some more. And you should hit up our Patreon to help us do it better for next time. And until then, have a good game. Bye, everybody.
We didn't die.